Hey guys, welcome to my April wrap-up. This month was actually a pretty good reading month. I guess I should say listening month. I listened to the majority of the books that I read. Work was busy, so I didn't have time to physically read a lot of books, but let's dive right in. The first book that I read was Rites by Quinn Loftis. It's still a part of the Wolff series, which I talked a little bit about in the last video. And this one still follows the first friend. And I gave it 5 stars. Love this book. Again, I don't know that I would recommend it. It's just not the best writing, but I thoroughly enjoy it. There's always an issue that needs to be resolved, and just like the true mates thing gets to me every time. So I loved it, 5 stars. Then the next book I read is still a part of, or I guess I should say, the next book I listened to is still a part of that series. And it is called Just One Drop by Quinn Loftis. And I gave it 5 stars again. This one, instead of following Jackie, it follows Jen, which is one of her best friends. And Jen is one of my favorite characters in this series, and the romance that develops between her and her little wolf mate, they're my favorite. They're my favorite. So 5 stars. I love this book. Again, same thing as the last one. Probably wouldn't recommend it, but I personally love it. Then I kept listening to the Crave series. I read Covet, and I gave it 3 stars. I really had high hopes that these books would get better. And while they did get slightly better, still not enough. Grace, the main character, just gets on my nerves, frankly. She just gets on my nerves. And Hudson, I love him. He probably saved Covet for me. And yeah, I really don't have a lot to say about it because I did not enjoy it all that much. Probably would not recommend these books. But I kept going. And I read listened to Court by Tracy Wolff. I think it's the 4th book. I gave it 3 stars. And in my little note, I said I almost gave it 2 stars because it's just aggravating. I don't understand why the books are so long. It feels like nothing happens the majority of the books, and it's just unnecessary. And again, Grace, it's like she has the same revelation every single book. And that it's like the character development happens again and again. Everybody in Covet, she has the same realization. In Court, she has the same realization. And it's just exhausting. Like she thinks, I'm a gargoyle and I'm gonna do the coolest things and I'm powerful. I would not recommend. But the next book, I for sure would. It was the 3rd book in the Aurelian, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that word. Furysong by Rosaria Munda. And I loved this series. I thought it was so well done and brought tears to my eyes. It was just such a good young adult series. No spice. And I just loved every minute of it and would highly recommend this to anybody. It's just a trilogy, so it's not a huge commitment, and young adult books. I just could not speak any higher of this series. So if you're looking for a new fantasy young adult, I would recommend Fireborn, Flamefall, and Furysong. Then, if I haven't bashed the Crave series enough, I started Charm, which I think it's in the 3rd book. It might even be the 2nd book. There's a period of time where the main female character goes into this coma. She turns into a gargoyle and 4 months passes. And you hear about these 4 months for all the books, and she doesn't remember what happens in those 4 months. Well, this book Charm is taking you back to those 4 months. And I started it because I was like, okay, love Hudson. Maybe I can do it. Yeah, I DNF'd it. I just couldn't do her anymore. She gets on my nerves and I just couldn't do it. So that was my first DNF. And if you know anything about me, you know that I don't do that very often. I'm very determined to finish what I start. So that's unfortunate. Then I listened to Out of the Dark, which again, back to the Grey Wolf series. And this one still follows Jen and her little man. Again, love Jen, love these books. I really don't have much to say. It's cookie cutter. It's pretty much the same thing every time. Girl finds out she has a wolf mate and them getting together with some conflict happening. And it's just an easy read. It's like a Hallmark movie to me. And I just love them. 5 stars. Then I read Beyond the Veil, which is the 5th book in this series. I think there's like 20 books. So again, 5 stars. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, other than this one then follows the 3rd friend named Sally. So the first 2 are about Jackie, second 2 are about Jen, the next 2 are about Sally. And then I listened to Fate and Fury, which is the 6th book. 5 stars again, still following Sally. And I really like this book because it starts to branch off into, and honestly might even be in the 5th book, it starts to branch off into other love stories, and I just love when books do that, especially once the main 2 people have gotten together. Like, I love the process of falling in love in books, and I find it to be a little bit boring once they're already together. So I enjoyed the fact that it starts branching out into the rest of them. And I stopped here. It was a good stopping place. It did introduce a new enemy in the end, and I didn't feel like continuing, so I did stop with the 6th one. But again, 5 stars. Still don't know that I would recommend it to anybody because I don't know that other people would enjoy it, but I enjoyed it. So then I started a really popular series, which I wasn't sure how to feel about because I heard mixed things. Like, the first several books are not very interesting, and like it doesn't get good until book 4, which that's a lot to invest if it's not very good. And in my mind, like, if I'm thinking not very good, the books that I think, like, for example, the Shatter Me series, to me, the first book of that one is very difficult to get through. It does get better, but you just have to get through the first one. So I was having in my mind that this is how it was going to be, and I was listening to this book. But the series is the Plated Prisoner series. I don't know that I said that earlier. The Plated Prisoner series. So I had really low expectations for the first book, and I must say, it shocked me. Like, I actually enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And I think it was because my expectations were really low. But I really enjoyed I don't know if it was the narrator or just it was probably a combination of the narrator and the writing. Like, I just really enjoyed the female main character. And considering you're in her head, if you don't like her, that would be kind of it. Same thing with Grace. I did not like Grace. I did not like the books. I like RN, so I like the books. And they're so good so far. It did make me nervous when you first started it. It talks about how she's a female saddle. I was worried that the book was going to be very spicy because of that. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know that I'm going to read this because I'm very much against a book that is just spice and no story. But as you read, it got so much better, and it kind of veered off away from that to the politics of the world and stuff like that. And I just really enjoyed it, and I was very surprised that I liked it as much as I did. And then I physically read Powerless, and this was a reread for me. But I must say this has been my favorite time that I've read this book. I don't know if it's that I just took my time with it, because I feel like the past couple of times I was blazing through it because other people were reading it with me, or I was trying to get through the next book, which Fearless is out, which is why I'm rereading it. And I don't know, I just enjoyed it a lot more. I took my time with it. But I will say there are a couple of things about Lauren Roberts' writing that does get under my skin. It just feels very repetitive, and I think I get tired of reading it. One of the things that like I've really picked up on this time was when she is describing something or talking about something, she'll spend a whole paragraph talking about this one thing when she could have said it in one sentence. And it's like, I just find it to be a bit frustrating because I'm like, okay, we get it. You think her eyes are pretty. Like, let's move on from it. We don't need to talk for a whole paragraph about Peyton's eyes. I don't know. And that's probably a me problem than an everybody problem. But I do find that she gets a bit repetitive with stuff, and I don't always enjoy it. So I gave it 4 stars, which is what I've given it in the past. It stays about there. Then I read Glint, which is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series. And I loved this book. 5 stars. Like, I was shocked, and I'm so mad at myself. I have a very bad habit of looking up spoilers. And so as I was reading this, I was trying to figure out just one thing, and I ruined something for myself. Luckily, it was revealed at the end of this book, so like it didn't ruin a whole lot for me, but I was so mad. I love this book. It has plot twists, and I love the love story, and it honestly reminds me of the same feeling I got with reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, I see a lot of similarities, and I just love this. I love this book, and I love this series, and I will be continuing with it through May, so you guys will probably hear a whole lot more about the Plated Prisoner series. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully maybe you guys found a book in there that you want to read, maybe not. But I had a really good month, and I hope you guys did too, and I will see you again in May for my next video. So bye.